Welcome back to the channel. I would like to talk about Shadowdark, specifically the character sheets. There's a lot of things about this I really love. First of all, it's horizontal. If you've ever been at a standard size table where somebody has vertical sheets, you may have encountered a problem like this. In addition to the superior horizontal style of the sheet, it's very simple. The layout is very clear. You have your gear slots here, and everything that you frequently use is pretty much all on this side of the sheet. Your attacks, your health, AC, and your 6 stats. If 80% of your game or more is on one part of the character sheet, it becomes a lot easier and faster to find what you need. Titles are something I have yet to find a use for. Players don't seem to care for them. Either it ranges from apathy all the way to dislike. I had one player playing a witch, and she really did not like the term hag being on her title because she was a chaotic witch. She did not picture her witch as a hag. I can fully sympathize with that. So I actually get rid of titles in my games. I don't even bother to use them. They're potentially confusing for new players. Seasoned players don't find a use for it. I don't find a use for it. And sometimes it conflicts with what you envision your character to be. Case in point, when we're talking about titles, let's look at this. Okay, so we have ourselves the Druid. Can you imagine being a Druid whose title is Druid? Or for that matter, what happens when the Sorcerer class is developed, because that's coming. And in Cursed Scroll, I believe it's number 1, you can play as a witch. So now you have a wizard who's a witch and a witch who's a hag. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. What about your priest? When you're lawful, you get paladin at the very end, but you have paladin class. So if you have things like this going on, it can be very confusing. If we don't use titles, what do we do with this space? I have created a modified version of the Shadowdark character sheet. I think this is a very improved version, especially if you're using the Pulp dice mechanics that I've talked about. Or if you use something like Deathbringer dice, you could also replace that here. Either way, the titles are gone. The alignment section, instead of it just being blank, it makes it even easier with chaotic, lawful, and neutral, and the player simply circles one. If you have a player that does something that changes their alignment, you can easily just have them erase it and switch it on their sheet. This is extra helpful for new players and saves writing for seasoned players. The background I have found a use for, I left that. But the other thing I have found with this is the name section is a little bit small. So I shrank Shadowdark and made the name section longer and more in line with the rest of the boxes. Luck tokens are another thing. They are such a frequently used commodity in Shadowdark, and yet there's no place to mark down if you have a luck token. I made sure to put that above the actual skills. If you have skills and you're doing a skill test and you fail, there's a good chance you might want a reminder that you have a luck token, so I've placed it up there. In addition, the talent section, if you're playing straight analog and you are not using Darklings, although Shadow Darklings is a wonderful tool, I highly recommend it. The talents and spell section now has actual lines, so your players can put their talents and spells in a much more formatted section. I have found, amazingly, when you have a large box like this, a lot of people will space out their talents so far that as they level and they progress, they can run out of room and they will have to find awkward ways to fill back in where they made too much space or too little space, and it just gets crammed and convoluted. This way, it's a little bit more organized. Another slight modification was doing the same thing for attacks. And the final thing that I'll point out here is the free to carry. It's a small change, but it's very helpful. It's a very tiny section, and there's just nothing to do with the room on the outside of it, and there's no reason it can't be larger. You can maximize the space. So that's my take on character sheets. I like the standard Shadowdark character sheet just fine. I just find some things I don't have a use for, and there are some things I wish were on it, and that's what I've done here. The one downside I will mention is it is not form fillable. So if you use form fillable or Shadowdark links, this might not be for you. However, if you would like a pure analog option that you hand out to your players for them to roll up characters so they can learn the process of making characters, or maybe you just prefer handwriting on sheets, these will be available for download. If somebody would like to make this form fillable, I would greatly appreciate it. I don't have the software to do it. If you do, you are more than welcome to. I hope you found this useful. If you do, maybe consider subscribing. I will be trying to upload videos regularly. I think for the next video, I might do my take on the 5e player sheets, because for 2014 5th edition, I was starting to do horizontal sheets just because it improves space at the table, and I think actually is a little easier, especially for newer players to use. And those ones are sliders, so they're designed to be slid back and forth. Either way, I hope to see you in the next video. For more content, consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. If you would like to check out the Etsy store with a lot of really cool minis perfect for either Dungeons & Dragons, Pathfinder, or Shadowdark, take a look in the description below for a link. The music used in this video will be included in the description as well.